Movie review. Physical media. And gummy unicorn. Booyah! Tippy time, my damies. Welcome to episode 39 of Reviewedly Interrupted. Doing a little different format here. There's not going to be like an intro and then some bullshit and then me talking about it, because it seems like the whole intro is me just saying shit, and then the outro is like recapping with even more of the same stuff and just saying the same things over and over again. So it's just going to be one little video. It's going to be a little shorter, a little different format. I'm working things out, trying to get it figured out in a way that I'm like, all right, that's cool. And yeah, so Reviewedly Interrupted, episode 39, ABCs of Death. Wow. From Magnet Releasing, right there, Magnet Releasing. Magnolia Pictures. Magnolia is pretty cool. I've seen some like cool stuff by them. It's like they're all over the place. It's not just like one genre type shit, but I love horror anthologies, and this one is no exception. It's very different, you know, like until they did the sequel, ABCs of Death 2, it was absolutely unique in what it was done, but it's still very cool just in the way it's like all over the place, you know, all these directors just going in their own way, where it's like a simple theme of just like a letter of the alphabet instead of like a common like plot theme that happens in some things. This is like, okay, so it's just each chunk is just so different, you know? And like some of them are just like gonzo, some of them are fucking actually disturbing, you know, where it's just like, oh, it's that type of horror, it's the disturbing shit. Some are just like goofy, like goofy and crazy and shit like that. And I don't know, like it starts off really strong. Like A is for Apocalypse. That one is like really strong because it comes in the middle of this. You're like, what's going on? And it's like great kill scene and everything else. And you know, and then just like, oh, so it's like this whole thing, and it's like it's really solid because it almost has like this drama to it, you know, and it's very solid. And like, I don't know, there's like claymation, animation, and just all over the place, like some really wild, crazy Japanese bullshit. It's like the Asian stuff, some of the Asian stuff gets very disturbing, very disturbing. I mean, shit, one, like the hydroelectric one or whatever, H, where it's just like, you know, World War II, and they're in like animal suits, but they look cartoonish, and it's like all this goofy stuff. It's like fucking wild, you know? And I'd say that if you love horror anthologies, give it a watch. You might not like it, you know, you might like some of these are better than others. Like some I like a lot, like some sections I like a lot, other ones I'm like, it's all right. You know, it's like, what's cool is like you got 26 little segments that, you know, you can be like, I like this one, I like that one, whatever. And like the Blu-ray has like a bookmark feature, so it's like if you love the movie but you're like, you know, you want to skip some shit or something like that, you could just like watch each little segment that you want to watch and just skip the ones that you're like, that's trash, I don't want to see that. But before I forget, yet again, this episode is brought to you by Gummy Unicorn. Yes, Gummy Unicorn, the absolutely delicious dollar store treat. So if you get a chance, head on down to your local Dollar Tree and pick yourself up some Gummy Unicorn. They are one, they are many, they are legion Gummy Unicorn. All right. Yeah, I remember trying to remember the first time I watched ABC's of Death. It might have been like, I wonder if it was on like a streaming service or something like that. Okay, I don't think I saw it first on when I bought it, but oh, let me get this going. Show going. I'm not gonna inundate you with a constant mowing down of Gummy Unicorn. I promise. But yeah, I got the link for the Blu-ray. I mean, if you want to pick up the Blu-ray, if you want to pick up the DVD, you know, it's like physical media. Gotta love it. But I don't know. Like, I know I've watched the special features at some point where it's just like some behind the scenes making of deleted scenes. There's like the visual effects featurettes for some of them, like some very small, like little featurettes showing how they did some of the visual effects and everything else. But like, oh yeah, the what was it, Dog Fight? That one was pretty good because all of a sudden that had a nice little twist, you know, and just the way it was shot and the way it was done. It's like it adds this whole element where it's like that's one, the Dog Fight one. I would love to see a movie about that shit, you know, just an underground fighter and his dog buddy, who's a badass, you know, and I mean. Their whole little standoff. I mean, that dog was like, you know, of course it's not really getting punched, but you know, in the shit where it's like, you know, the dog's just taking punches like a champ, like you'd be watching like Rocky or some other fucking action movie. You know how it's like most people when they get like punched in the face like 3 times, like really good solid punches in the face, they're gonna be like rocked somewhat or something, you know. But this dog's just like bah bah, you know, in like the action movie type shit. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, so the lost dog, the dog that got stolen is his dog. And those guys, and like, dude and buddy are like fucking best friends. Like, you know, he was like half brainwashed, came out of the brainwash and was like, all right. And they fucked that dude up. But, yeah, I would love to see a movie of that one. That one would be cool. But yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. I really dug the concept and the way it was done, you know. Fucking if you've watched a ton of horror movies, you've seen a ton of horror anthologies, you know. You've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, fucking John Carpenter's Body Bags, Tales from the Hood, Tales from the Crypt, the old movie in Vault of Horror and shit like that. Just tons and tons of horror anthologies. Fucking Creep Show, all of the Creep Shows and stuff. And it's like it's like when you read novels, like regular movies are like novels or novellas if they're a little shorter, and some of them are like epic novels like fucking Apocalypse Now, which is insanely long and shit. You know, it's like those are like books. The horror anthologies are like short story collections, you know? So it's like you sometimes you go through and you read a bunch of novels and you read a bunch of books and then you know, at least with me, I would get to a point where I'm like, you know what? I want to read like an anthology short story dealio, you know, so I can kind of like, you know, read some stories and have it and like just do some different quick stuff and, you know, maybe take a break from it here. And, you know, it's not like you're stopping right in the middle of like a plot. You're just like, okay. And then you can like set the book down and then you come back and you're starting another story. So it's like you're not losing any like right in the front of your brain synopsis bullshit and then you know you just hop back in there. It's like horror anthologies are like that for me, and like I love going through the movie novels, the novel movie. I don't know. I'm rambling about shit. It's making sense to me. I don't know if it's making sense to you, but it's making sense to me. It makes absolutely perfect sense to me. But yeah, I like to break it up and, you know, do a little horror anthology dealio and just get some like that really quick kind of almost like rapid fire different stories wrapped around the same common theme or something, you know. maybe not theme, something, you know. But yeah, and you know, ABCs of Death is solid, and like adding it into the collection, you know, along with other horror anthologies, I was like, fuck yeah. Well, like I said, give it a watch. There's going to be some that you're going to be like, hey, you know, I really liked it. That one was cool. And some that you're going to be like, well, that was trash. That one was like a waste. And some you're just going to be like, yeah, it was all right, you know? But I say give it a watch and just, you know, give it that chance. And I know that, you know, out of 26 short little tales, you're definitely going to find, you know, at least a few that you're going to be like, okay, those ones were really good. And, you know, those ones were really solid. And then hopefully, you know, it's like something that I haven't done, which, you know, because I just kind of like get into it and go for the ride and blah, blah, blah. But like how I really like that A is for Apocalypse, checking out and seeing what else that director has done, and like, you know, checking out some more of their stuff and seeing what they're all about, and diving a little more deep in there, because you know, I really liked the way it was shot. I liked the way it was done. I just liked the short little storyline there. It was really solid. That's another one where it's like it could get turned into a full blown movie, where it's like, you know, she's like, I've been poisoning you slowly for 6 months, where, you know, they can flesh that out into a whole fucking thing, you know, and have like, it's I believe that one's in Spanish. I don't know where it's from. You know, obviously I haven't done a lot of research into this movie. Congratulations, Walt. But you know, because it had that feel like I was talking to a pal on X, Twitter X, Twixter, about the movie Dead Ringers, you know, and that A is for Apocalypse has like the same vibe, where like they could totally make a full movie out of that and have that Dead Ringers vibe, you know, where it's just like, it's menacing the whole time and just like down, and the atmosphere is just moldy and the aura is just sick, you know, and the whole time you're like, oh, and it's just a constant bleh feeling, you know, and they could make a movie out of A is for Apocalypse, which is just has that straight same vibe, you know, and yeah, you know, as I am, and I plan on to now of doing, is like looking into like the directors that did the ones that I'm like, okay, yeah, I really like that one. That one was cool. And seeing what else they've done, and, you know, branching off some more. Like, if you're a collector, if you're a movie hound fan, you know, if you're a big like movie person, I'm sure you do the same thing, where it's like you'll get into like a director and be like, oh man, that's fucking badass, you know, and like maybe an actor that they use a lot, you'd be like, well, what else have they done, which will lead you to this or that, or vice versa. An actor you like and you watch a lot of their stuff and you're like, oh, I've noticed this guy directed this movie that this guy was in, and I like that director now because that movie was fucking sick. Well, what the fuck else have they done? Have they done some other cool shit? And then going off and out, you know, and just finding some real cool stuff that you never would have found unless you like took that little journey and checked some shit out. And definitely the A for Apocalypse director is one that I am going to like see what else they've done, because I like their style, and I if they've done more like in a similar style and similar kind of vibey way, then I'm down. I'll check their shit out, you know. Fuck it, why not, man? But yeah, I say if you're a horror fan, if you're a horror anthology fan, if you're a fan, if you're fanning yourself right now with a fan, pick up ABCs of Death. And real quick, next episode 40, I will be doing, I'm not holding anything up, because that is going to be my to be or not to be, but yeah, definitely Tubi episode where I will be reviewing the awesomeness of this Steve Guttenberg giant monster action classic, Lavalantula. I don't know if you've ever seen Lavalantula or not, but Lavalantula is fucking great. It is total cheese, and it is one of the funnest movies I've ever watched in my entire life, and it's going to be fun to watch it again. And Steve Guttenberg is just so great. He's always been just like a solid actor, and in this, he fucking nails it. So on episode 40, if you're really interrupted, I'll be doing Tubi, not Tubi, but definitely Tubi, where I will be reviewing Lavalantula. Stay tuned. But yeah. I don't know what else to say. It's like, there's great visual effects throughout as far as like the gore and shit like that. And, I like some of the ones that were done, from first person point of view, especially like the one where those motherfuckers are digging up a vampire and killing a vampire, and it's from the vampire's perspective and shit. I thought that was pretty cool, you know. And yeah, like the W is for what the fuck, like that one was just absolutely nuts, and that was some Adult Swim shit like that. That's all I gotta say. That was definitely, it looked very Adult Swimish, and it was just chaos and nuts and just meant to be totally fucking gonzo and in your face and what the fuck and funny as shit, because it's like you watch it and you're like, there's no way you can take it seriously in any fucking way. It's too fucking over the top and out there. And the W is for what the fuck is also one of my favorite ones. And yeah, so I mean, definitely check it out. So I don't know, follow the link, go check it out, go buy it, add it to there. I'm sure, like, I think I stumbled across this copy cheap somewhere, so I'm sure you could find it in places, and definitely go fucking snag it up. So your pity kind has been signed on by me, Pootie. So until next time, from me and the Legion of Gummy Unicorn, really interrupted, blah blah blah. See you next time. Every season there. Go watch it. Alright. Later, fuckers.
No, can we hear my... what is it? Hey everyone!